Femi, we begin our Week 8 NFL Sunday betting sojourn in the city of brotherly love as my New York football Giants visit the Philadelphia Eagles. Where do we stand right now, Eagles and G-Men?
Yeah, this was an interesting one. We opened up at 7, actually opened 6.5, like really, really early Sunday after the games. That immediately got bet up to 7. And we hung out at 7, and now we're at 7.5, which is kind of fascinating given the injury report we've been getting out of Philadelphia. It's been negative for the Eagles. A.J. Brown, DNP both days with a hamstring injury. I'm assuming the betting market thinks that he should be able to play, but let's see what happens on Friday. But that's a big one to keep in mind. A.J. Brown with the hamstring. Cam Jurgens, their center, has a knee injury. He was DNP both days. Adoree Jackson, which at corner, I guess you can make the argument, hey, like, it doesn't matter who they play with the guys that have been bad, but he was DNP with concussion. He's in the concussion protocol. It sounds like they might be able to get Jacorian Bennett back, the guy that they traded for with the Las Vegas Raiders during training camp. So that's the Philly side. On the Giants side, we have some key injuries as well. Brian Burns dealing with a hip injury. He is DNP both days. Javon Holland in their secondary, DNP both days. Paulson Adebo, DNP both days. Darius Slayton, limited. Sounds like he might be able to make it back with that hamstring injury. So that's the injury news. And with A.J. Brown as the headliner, we're still seeing the Eagles get bet as now the 7s are turning into 7.5s. I bet Philly -7. Obviously, I would love for A.J. Brown to play in the game and not be absent, but we'll find out tomorrow what the full status is for A.J. Brown, with the Friday injury report being the most important one. But I like Philly at 7, but the injury report is pretty big for both of these teams.
I'm going to like Philly at 7 as well. I think your analysis was sterling. I agreed with all of it. I have nothing left to add. So with that being said, let's head to Atlanta, Femi, where the 3-3 Atlanta Falcons play Tua Tagovailoa and the 1-6 Dolphins. And I should probably do like 10 seconds on this because I teased it yesterday and never did it in the show. Tua's comments yesterday at his press conference when he's asked by the Miami media, why didn't you throw the ball to Jalen Waddle? And he basically said, because I'm not tall enough to see over the offensive lineman. I'm going to say what I said last week. Tua Tagovailoa needs to stop talking to the media. Or at least get up there and Drew Rosenhaus it. Why didn't you throw to Jalen Waddle? Next question. What happened at the players-only meeting? Next question. Do you think your head coach and GM should be fired? Next question. Do you want to be part of the bloodline in WWE? Yes. What do we got, Femi, with the Falcons and the Dolphins?
This one opened 7 with Atlanta, of course, as the home favorite. We are now out to 7.5. So there's been money coming in on the Atlanta Falcons in terms of the total. That's ticked to the under 45.5 down to 44.5. And the big injury with this game is Michael Penix Jr. He was limited both days dealing with a foot injury. Sounds like he should still be good to go. The expectation is that he will play. If he doesn't play, hell, I mean, there's an argument to be made that maybe his backup might even be better than him and Kirk Cousins. So that's the status for Atlanta. For Miami, bummer for them. Darren Waller making his return, scored some touchdowns. He is now considered week to week with a pec injury, so they will lose a pass catcher on that Dolphins offense. But it's been all Atlanta money, 7 to 7.5, and the total's been to the under 45.5 to 44.5. I think I'm just kind of like whatever with this game. At 7.5, maybe I'd tease it, but I don't want to lay 7 in the hook with the Falcons. I'd rather just tease it and try to pair it with something else, which I haven't even thought of as of right now. But just talking it out loud, maybe pair it with the Philadelphia Eagles. How about that? A Dirty Birds teaser. Falcons down with the Eagles down to 1.5, and we can go party Sunday.
The Michael Vick Memorial teaser, Eagles and Falcons.
100%.
I'll just, it feels like an extreme outcome type of game to me, where if the Falcons play their A game like they did against Buffalo, I think they're going to win by 100. If they play like they did against San Francisco or Carolina, can the Dolphins win? I think the Falcons are so inconsistent and so hard to trust. Newsworthy week at Florham Park, Femi, for the Jets. What do we got with Cincinnati hosting 0-7 New York?
Yeah, I guess what side of the bet is Woody Johnson waking up on? Does he want to go ahead and can his quarterback again to the media? I guess we'll find out later on tomorrow. But this has been all Cincinnati money. It opened up at 4.5. Bettors quickly gravitated to the Bengals after what we saw last Sunday with the Jets losing to the Panthers. Now we're all the way out to 6.5, and that has been steady throughout the week. In terms of the total, just kind of bouncing back and forth between 45 and 44.5. Not a whole lot to report there, but the injury news is the key here for both teams. For the Jets, Garrett Wilson did not practice again today with that knee injury, missed last week's game. If he's not out there, he's like their only good pass catcher. That's going to be a big problem for the Jets, whoever they start at quarterback. Sauce Gardner, he was DNP yesterday. I haven't seen any update on Sauce today. I'm assuming he's still in the protocol. But Michael Carter II, he was able to practice in full yesterday. dealing with the concussion coming out of the protocol. Trey Hendrickson for Cincinnati, limited on Wednesday. Still waiting word as to what his availability and his status was today on this Thursday. But big news for the Jets, though, Garrett Wilson, DNP, and we'll find out who they decide to start between Justin Fields and Tyrod Taylor. I think, to me, it's Jets or pass, as gross as that sounds. I might get there with the Jets, but I only want to do the Jets if Tyrod Taylor plays. I don't want to bet on Justin Fields, not anymore.
Sauce Gardner, DNP again today with his concussion. I wouldn't bet the Jets with your money.
Seems unlikely.
Patriots and the Browns, the Belichick Bowl, Femi, in Foxborough.
Yeah, no real injury news to report with this one. David Njoku, limited both days. Sounds like he's going to work his way back to the starting lineup for the Cleveland Browns. But in terms of the betting market, some interest on Cleveland. The 7s -110 are now 7 -115. If you want to go ahead and bet the Cleveland Browns, I even see some 7 even money out there for New England. So we're still hanging on to that key number, but you can see the betting activity going towards the Cleveland Browns. For the total, it's actually ticked up 40.5 now to 41. I kind of like Cleveland at 7. I have not worked up the courage yet to press the button, but I do think by the end of the week I will be on the Browns +7 because I think this is a big step up in competition in terms of opposing defense that the Patriots will face as opposed to what they've faced in the previous 7 weeks.
I was thinking about you this morning. Just wanted to let that hang for a second. Yeah. You said on the show a couple days ago that this was going to be by far the best defense that the Patriots had played this season. Mm-hmm. Do you know who agrees with you?
Who's that?
Mike Vrabel, who said the exact same thing at yesterday's media availability. At 7.5, I might be able to get there with Cleveland. Honestly, 7.5 just feels like let's tease the Patriots into oblivion. Like Patriots Eagles.
Yeah. Pats Falcons. A little 28-3 teaser.
I don't want to tease. If I'm betting Atlanta, I want to lay Atlanta like 16.5.
That's fair.
I feel like they might lose. I feel like they're either going to win by 17 or lose outright.
Andy Dalton at QB for Carolina. And for the Buffalo Bills, from an injury perspective, they have guys, it looks like they might be getting some of these guys back. Dalton Kincaid was limited, Matt Milano limited, Terrell Bernard limited, Daquan Jones was a DNP, as was Josh Palmer, at least on Wednesday's injury report. But it sounds like they could be getting some reinforcements back on the second level of defense and at pass catcher with Dalton Kincaid. As for the line movement, this was 7.5 at open, got all the way down to 7, then went to 8, and then we got the news of Bryce Young, and all of a sudden we get Carolina getting bet to where now we're sitting here, we're off of 7 in the hook. We're now 7 across the board. There's 7 -110 that's out there pretty much everywhere for the Panthers and the Bills. The total, that's gone up. This was 45.5. Now we're up to 46.5. And we might hit that key number of 47. So money on the over and money coming in on the Carolina Panthers, which makes a lot of sense based on what we've seen from the Buffalo Bills defense. I have no strong opinion with this game. I think 7's probably just right. If we got to 6.5, I'd have to think about betting Buffalo. But at 7, I think it's a pass for me. But Nick, I know you're interested in the Carolina Panthers and may have gobbled up some of those hooks that were there earlier in the week.
Oh, just call me a Thanksgiving turkey. Gobble, gobble, gobble.
Gobble,
I
gobble,
bet
gobble,
7.5. I think Rico, they're going to do like what the FBI is going to try and do coming up to a bunch of NBA players and coaches. They're going to hit him with the Rico.
Hit him with the Rico.
They're going to hit him with the Rico. Rico Dowdle and old mother Chuba Hubbard. Carolina's going to run all over Buffalo in this game. I like the Panthers. All right. A lot going on, obviously, injury-wise, with the Ravens and the Bears in Baltimore. Femi, what do we got? Baltimore and Chicago.
Yeah, very interesting betting market, but the injury news is the biggest stuff with this one. Like, Lamar Jackson's status is going to dictate where we go by the time we get to the weekend. Lamar, of course, dealing with the hamstring injury, didn't practice with the extra practice on Monday, has been limited on Wednesday and Thursday. But if you read the tweets from the beat reporters who are at practice, it sounds like he's just kind of like jogging around a little bit and throwing a couple of passes. So technically, yeah, he is limited, but it doesn't sound like a guy that's getting ready to play an NFL game on Sunday. Now, the injury report is a little bit better for Baltimore with the other guys. Roquan Smith, Ronnie Stanley, Chidobe Awuzie, those guys all expected to be back. For Chicago, Cole Kmet and Tyreek Stevenson are the big ones. Cole Kmet, DNP both days. Tyreek Stevenson, DNP both days as well for the Bears. But from the line movement, this was 7, got all the way down to 5.5. And then when Lamar was limited, people bet Baltimore at 6.5. I kind of think it's going to be Tyler Huntley again on Sunday. I don't know if your thoughts on this one, Nick, about who's going to be starting for Baltimore. I don't think it's going to be Lamar. And I'm getting close to just saying, you know what? Bleep it. Let's just bet Chicago plus 6.5 because I dare Lamar to go out there with his jogging around couple passes per week to go out there and play. So I understand what the total's been doing. That's been kind of been going to the under, but I think the big move is with the side here. And I think we're going to find out tomorrow maybe that Lamar is not actually ready to go on Sunday, and maybe you'll get a bunch of Bears money at that point.
I don't know if I can be wrong.
You think he's going to play?
I feel like yes.
The way they're doing this, it doesn't seem like he's ready. No practice Monday, just limited on Wednesday and Thursday.
But I mean, they're 1-5. Now a hamstring's a hamstring.
Correct.
So when you're ready, you're ready, and if you're not, you're not. So we'll know. They're 1-5.
Yeah, it's a playoff game for them.
I have interest in the Bears almost no matter what happens. If Lamar plays and the number goes up, Baltimore's that's the thing is like the Ravens will get some players back on defense. The defense was bad when everybody was playing. Just something to keep in mind. Niners and the Texans, Femi, coming up in Houston on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, the injury report's been big for the Niners all season long. Brock Purdy not expected to play on Sunday dealing with that toe injury, although he is limited, but it sounds like they don't want to have him out there with the field turf in Houston. Ricky Pearsall was DNP on Wednesday. I have not seen the Thursday status for Ricky Pearsall yet. Bryce Huff, their edge rusher, which is another pass rusher for this Niners team, he's expected to miss a couple of weeks. And then Upton Stout limited on Wednesday, their stud rookie cornerback. For Texans, wide receiver cluster injuries continues to be the story. Nico Collins in concussion protocol, DNP both days. Christian Kirk hamstring injury, DNP both days. They got the young guys out there from Iowa State playing. Well, they're going to have to play a whole lot more. Didn't look good against the Seahawks. We'll see how it looks against the San Francisco 49ers. But as for the side and the total, we're seeing Texans money, despite all that injury news for Houston. This was pick'em. It was 1. Now we're out to 2. We even touched 2.5 at one point earlier this afternoon. The total, that remains to be hanging out at 41.5, but interest has been on the Texans despite the injuries for both sides. Houston is drawing the attention of bettors here, at least early in the week.
I do like Houston in this game. Haven't bet it yet, but my thought process, and said it on Tuesday on the show, Houston's offensive line's really bad. I don't think the Niners have the defensive front to be able to take advantage of it, especially with Bryce Huff also now out for the Niners. I do lean towards the Houston Texans. Bucs and the Saints on Sunday, Femi, in New Orleans. Baker Mayfield says he hates the Saints. What does the betting market say about Tampa Bay and New Orleans?
Well, the betting market says the opposite. They love the Saints because this was 6 earlier in the week, and now it's down to 4. And I don't know if this is just people just jamming Saints bets after we saw Tampa lose to Detroit on Monday Night Football, but the betting market has been very interested in New Orleans since that game. The total, that has gone up a little bit, 46.5 now to 47, which is a key-ish number. In terms of the injury report, it's not good for Tampa. Bucky Irving, he's not expected to play on Sunday. Chris Godwin, he was DNP both days. Mike Evans, see you later, 6 to 8 weeks with that shoulder injury and also dealing with a concussion. And now recently today, Vita Vea added to the injury report with a DNP, and Hassan Reddick, DNP both days. There's a lot of injuries for a lot of good players on the Bucs side. And for New Orleans, Chris Olave's got an ankle injury, but he was upgraded to limited today. So it looks like he's trending in the right direction. This to me feels like it's Saints or pass at 4. I don't know if I want to bet that, but kudos to the people that got in at 6 and earlier because those I think are good bets that will age well because I think this is going to be a competitive game, but I think we're at the right price as it stands right now.
Total at 47 I think is interesting. I'll tell you what, I think the Saints are going to be able to score on this game with the state of the Tampa secondary and the downfield passing attack to Olave and Shaheed. Maybe a thought on the over as we approach kickoff. 3 more games for us to hit here, Femi. Thursday, You Better You Bet, BetMGM Network, Nick Kostos, Femi Abebefe. The Indianapolis Colts, a very large home favorite over the Tennessee Titans. What does the betting market say, side and total, Colts and Titans?
Colts keep getting bet. It opened 14. We're as high as 15.5 at some sports books.
Wow.
14.5 is your consensus. But yeah, we are moving with this game. And it came earlier this afternoon once we got onto the air. Now for the total, it's been over money, 45.5 up to 47.5. But the reason why for that movement with the side, it's a bloodbath for the injury report for the Tennessee Titans. Calvin Ridley, DNP both days. Doesn't sound like he's going to be able to go with a hamstring injury. Jeffrey Simmons, their best defensive player, probably their best player overall. He has a hamstring injury, DNP both days. Doesn't look like he's going to go. Arden Key, he was limited today in practice with a quad injury. He missed the game last week, but sounds like he might be able to play. But L'Jarius Sneed was placed on IR earlier this afternoon as his injury history continues. He has a quad injury. He's going to miss the next 4 games. So those are all really impactful players for Tennessee. One of them sounds like he could play. 3 of them looks like they're not going to be playing on Sunday. For Indianapolis, a couple edge rusher injuries. Samson Ebukam, Tyquan Lewis, DNP both days. Maybe those guys aren't able to go, but yeah, you can see why the market likes Indianapolis for that matter. I kind of side with Tennessee. I've not placed a bet yet. I don't know if I will because I don't know if I want to stomach this one, but I think we're getting to be a little bit too big here from a numerical standpoint. It's just, do you have the gumption to click the button?
Do you?
Not yet. I just don't. Just being honest, I don't have it yet. It's like the worst ATS team in the last 2 years.
I think maybe you and I will work together to try to work up the gumption to make it happen.
Yeah.
Hit us with Broncos and the Cowboys in Denver, and then the Aaron Rodgers Bowl on Sunday Night Football with the Packers and the Steelers.
Yeah, the injury report for the Dallas Cowboys is it's limited but impactful. You know, Trayvon Diggs still in the concussion protocol. Donovan Wilson, DNP both days, are starting safety. Denver, clean bill of health for the Broncos. And that side, it kind of keeps bouncing back and forth between 3 and 3.5. It's a 3.5, so like or even money. The 3s are minus 120 if you want to lay it with the Denver Broncos. That's where we've been hanging out, almost like at that 3.25 number that we talk about here on You Bet or You Bet. Money coming in on the over because it's a Cowboys game, 49.5. We've now touched the key number of 51. I kind of lean towards Dallas at 3.5, but let's just see the full injury report tomorrow. I think it's going to be what it is today, to where I can just place a bet on a Friday. In terms of Green Bay and Pittsburgh, Packers, couple injuries. Devontae Wyatt limited in practice. I do think that's an impactful one. He was limited on Wednesday. Dontavian Wicks, DNP on Wednesday with the calf injury. Yeah, Dontavian Wicks, man. He's got that calf injury. He has a calf injury that he's dealing with here, but it sounds like Christian Watson should be good to go this Sunday. So welcome back, Christian Watson, after the ACL tear last January. And for Pittsburgh, Calvin Austin III. Practice in full today. I like the Pittsburgh Steelers. We talked about that on Monday. That's now down to 3. I bet 3.5. I still like it at 3. I think Pittsburgh wins the game on Sunday. I'm right there with the Steelers. I think this is the nice Tomlin spot where he rah-rahs and gets everybody rolling after laying an egg in Cincinnati last Thursday night.
So I preferred Denver 3 to Cowboys 3.5. So no bet on that game for me yet. Total's really high. Maybe not high enough for Denver and Dallas. And Femi, I led the show yesterday talking about Green Bay and Pittsburgh in the Aaron Rodgers Bowl against his former team. I love the over.
Yeah, get some points.
Well, we watched the Steelers defense a week ago against Cincinnati. It was all bad just a week ago. And on the flip side, you know Aaron Rodgers is going to be playing with piss and vinegar on Sunday night against his former team. Even if he says, and I believe him, that it's not a revenge game and he has no animosity to. I actually, because here's Willow. Because I feel like if he were pissed at them, he would just say it. Like he's not a liar. Like people hate him because he tells the truth. Not that everything he says is the truth. He says what he believes to be the truth. Just wanted to cover myself there.